To pour the coffee, and he fills it only halfway. And before I even argue, he is looking out the window and somebody coming in. It's always nice to see you, says the man behind the counter to a woman who has come in, shaking her umbrella, and I look the other way as they are kissing their hellos, and I'm pretending not to see them. Instead I pour the milk. I open up the paper, there's a story of an actor who had died while he was drinking. It was no one I had heard of. So I'm turning to the horoscope and looking for the signs when I'm feeling someone watching me, and so I raise my hand. There's a woman on the outside looking inside. Does she see me? No, she does not really see me, 'cause she sees her own reflection. And I'm trying not to notice as she's hitching up her skirt, and while she's straightening her stockings, her hair has gotten wet. Oh, this rain, it will continue through the morning as I'm listening to the bells of the cathedral. I am thinking of your
Yo, you're listening to All Elite Podcast. Boom.
And it is the worst podcast ever. We live! Ow!
Vegetarian, Scorpio Sky, Mark Daniels, collecting SoCal Uncensored Or, SCU!
This is Isaiah Cassidy. I'm Mark Quinn, and we're Private Podcast.
This is the All Elite Podcast,
You're listening to the All Elite Podcast.
which happens to be the worst podcast I've ever been on. SCU!
Pain, I know your name. You're the water to the flame, been caught in the reins of your chains.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the All Elite Podcast, right here on the No Holds Barred Network, your source for all wrestling podcast content and more. I'm your host, as always, of the All Elite Podcast. I'm your self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, always joined by my co-host. She's the EVP Giggles, the Heartbreak Chick, and the Queen of the Indies herself. That's Tiffany.
Oh, we're extra today. Okay, cool.
Little extra, but
A little coffee, a little extra coffee.
Yeah, maybe I put a little shot of espresso. Why not? But guys, welcome to the All Elite Podcast. I'm in a new, as you can tell by my background, I'm in a new environment. Moved to the cooler part of my house because my house is like 150 years old and central air wasn't a big thing 150 years ago. So I have to move to the coolest part of my house because upstairs there is a window, those window unit things, but the office I was in just, I was getting hot, getting spicy, getting hot.
Forget you got a new shirt over there. What's going on over there?
I have the new FTR shirt.
Ooh.
I ordered on, I believe it was the one of the sales back in May, late May, June. I don't remember what sale it was, but I seen it. I think it was right when as soon as they released this shirt, I'm like, I have to have my own. I have to have that shirt. So it's lovely. It's lovely. Yes.
TR.
This new environment I'm in is a work in progress because the desk I was telling Tiff before is like the desk I figured out that I thought I was gonna use. This desk is wobblier. You guys can see my camera shake. That's just for me tapping on the desk. So let's hope that this thing doesn't collapse on itself mid podcast, or else there's just gonna be I don't know what's gonna happen at that point.
I'm gonna die. In a way, it's kind of like that episode. Remember, like on Dada's podcast when I built the chair, and you were saying had the countdown of like, okay, her chair is gonna break in an hour and like 2 minutes or something like that, and like it never broke, and we thought it was gonna break. So I kind of hope
I thought for sure
breaks because I just want to sit here and die laughing at it.
I hope it doesn't. I hope nothing like my background doesn't just drop all of a sudden because. So if you hear a loud noise, you audio listeners, something happened.
Don't worry, I'll clip it and put it on Twitter.
Oh boy, yeah. Thanks.
I'll put it on loop.
No, on loop. Oh, even on a loop.
We'll make it as a GIF and everything. So
it's exactly what I needed to be on a loop. Anyways, guys, welcome to the All Elite Podcast. If you're new to the podcast, where myself and my co-host Tiffany talk about everything in that. You see my flag in the background, AEW world. We kind of recap BTE, Dark, Dynamite, obviously Fyter Fest for the last 2 weeks. So we're gonna recap and review night number 2 of AEW Fyter Fest, which was last night. Great. Unfortunately, we can't recap the Puppy Bowl because I forgot to watch it. I was doing an early podcast today. In Canada, we don't get like whatever is shown after. It's whatever TSN was showing. And TSN was showing Dark Side of the Ring, the Montreal Screwjob, which was cool. But like I didn't get to see the Puppy Bowl, so now I gotta watch it today.
It's on YouTube. Like
it's on YouTube. All right.
Yeah, it was funny because I was at my friend's house last night, and then like I left like right after it was over, but he had switched the channel because he was gonna go watch NXT. So then as I left, and then like April and Ray were messaging me, they're like, "Oh, the Puppy Bowl," and I'm like, oh, I forgot it. I left his house, and he changed the channel, and then I found out it was on YouTube. I was like, oh.
I just want to know. I want to know if they named some of the puppies like after AEW stars.
They did.
Oh, they did. Okay.
The whole story it was that they were doing it for like for adoption, and they had the 7 dogs, and they were trying to get them adopted.
The 7 what?
Dogs. New York accent.
Dogs. Gotcha. The dogs.
It's funny because when I was in Queens yesterday and somebody hit me up because they saw it was where I grew up, and they were like, "Oh, I live over here," and I'm like, "Oh," I was like, "Now you know where the accent comes from because he's from Long Island," and I was like, "Now you're gonna see how the accent developed. It's from Queens, so from like exactly where I was, but it was really funny." So the dog, like the dog.
The dog, if everyone gets it, the dog.
You have to watch it if you haven't watched. I think it's such a great thing and like what they were doing with it, but it was really funny. And like April had tagged me on Instagram yesterday that they had like the Orange Cassidy dog, and he had the sunglasses on the face, and yeah, they were all named after it. So they had the women Rumble, and then they had the men's, and it was really great. It was a good time.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch Puppy Bowl today now. I'm gonna put that on the list.
It's right on Kyle's alley because he likes puppies.
Oh yeah, I love dogs. I love all kinds of dogs. Normal dogs, hot dogs, cold dogs, all dogs.
Oh, okay. Well then.
Well then.
Anywho.
Which we didn't get to see. Damn, I thought for sure she was gonna come out.
That's That's what I was thinking last night, and we talked about that last week or 2 weeks ago on the prediction that we thought that this was gonna happen. So,
Damn
I
it,
figured
Rihu.
we did. Damn it!
Get your butt out here.
I don't know.
We miss
but-
her. We miss her.
So
So, we had night 2 of AEW Fyter Fest last night, and then next we're getting, I guess, the first night. It hasn't been confirmed they're going to do the next night. After that, I assume it's just going to be one night, but from only announced 4 matches, I presume they will probably do night 2 of Fyter Fest to close out July. Or not, Fyter Fest, Fight for the Fallen. So next week, we're already jumping into another pay-per-view themed Dynamite, with 4 massive matches on the docket, which we'll get into right now. So obviously we knew about the first match because it was supposed to be on Fyter Fest night 2, and it is now John Moxley versus Brian Cage, who is the newly crowned FTW heavyweight champion.
did you pop?
I pop. I missed that belt. I remember that belt, because I was obsessed growing up as a kid watching wrestling, and then when the documentary series came out of the rise and fall of ECW, I was obsessed with that documentary series. I watched it like religiously. I know a lot of wrestling fans know what I'm talking about if they're familiar in ECW. If not, go check it out. The FTW belt is the belt that Taz made himself back in ECW and crowned himself. Which, if you don't know what it stands for, I can't say the first word or else YouTube will dock us. But it's, F the World Heavyweight Championship. So there's that. So he's I don't know if it's going to be a defended title belt on AEW, or is this just a prop? Is it going to be like the MJF ring where he just has it and it's never defended? Who knows? I don't know. And maybe Taz eventually gets a new recruit, and he's they have a belt, like, Taz's new guy against Brian Cage for the FTW belt. I don't know how they're going to do it.
It's interesting, right? That they brought this, but it's like so meaningful to like certain, like me, like I didn't know, so I had to ask, and then I started doing some research on it. So I really didn't know. So, but I know like a lot of fans like that do know the past story with it. They like a lot of people popped about it. So excited. Yeah. So, but interesting, like as a new fan, that if you're not sure, so it'd be kind of like interesting to see where it goes. So, but like, are you right? Like, are they going to continue to defend it, or is it going to be something like the MJF ring that it's not getting defended, but it's got meaning towards it? And I know this belt, the only other person that had the belt was Sabu. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And it's got to mean something very huge with Taz giving it to Cage.
Oh yeah. That's massive. Like, that's Taz. For Taz to do that to Brian Cage, he must have a lot of faith in him to do that, because I don't think they just thought of this out of the blue. I don't think they just went, you know what, Taz, you have to bring your belt back. I think this was Taz's idea. I think Taz wanted to bring this in because, they write their own scripts and stuff, right? So I'm imagining that Cage and Taz are probably sat down together and thought of things to add to their, their whole gimmick. And obviously the FTW belt is so near and dear to Taz. It was such a cool thing. I popped hard for that. I definitely marked out. Another cool match that's happening next week. I'm excited that we have someone answering Cody Rhodes. I thought we were going to get a surprise, but they announced it right away on AEW's Twitter right when Fyter Fest was over. Cody Rhodes will be defending the TNT Championship against Sonny Kiss.
All right, let's go.
Tiff, they're listening to us. I swear to God, someone back there is listening to us, because we've been saying it for weeks. Like the last couple of weeks here that we've been needing more Sonny Kiss, and what do you know?
Yeah.
The guy gets us a TNT championship. Thank you, AEW. Whoever's listening, thank you. Thank you.
It's about time. Like, we've been talking about this, that we want to see more of him. Mm-hmm. So I'm so stoked. And I love it. So it's like we're finally like, even like we're seeing more Joey Janela, even though like I preferably like him a little bit more in the hardcore matches. I mean, we'll get it. I mean, I don't know if you want to like go over, because I could go back to the whole thing with Joey Janela and Archer last night. At least like, I think you put out the tweet that you were saying at least he got some like offense in. During
we'll get into it. We'll get into it. There's 2 more matches for Fyter Fest though. Fyter Fest. I keep getting them. They're so close together that I know I'm gonna get this mixed up more than once. So I apologize for this episode. But the next fight on Fight for the Fallen, we got is a sweet match. I'm actually very excited for this match. We have The Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks against Jurassic Express in a 3-man tag team match. Hell yeah. I just love the picture. Look at Marco Stunt in his little hat and glasses back there.
Yeah.
This should be a sweet match. But I'm interested because Hangman, is he going to have a
something
problem with
different.
this?
Well, I said that last night too. I was like, this is kind of interesting, but then you go back to the original, like they're the original 3. So is that going to happen? I mean, there's so many possibilities that could happen. Let me go back because like people are talking about in the chat about Sonny Kiss, like what's Sonny Kiss, done to deserve this, and but I understand what you guys say, like, does he deserve a title shot? But the thing is, like, when they created this belt, that they were saying that this was going to kind of put over new talent. And like, I've been talking about this for weeks. It's about time that you have all these people on the roster and they're not being used and we're only seeing them in dark. So it's time to bring them up over into regular Dynamite episodes. So, I mean, I know, again, we had Fyter Fest last night and now we're going to get Fight for the Falling, but I'm okay with this because it's about time, and Cody's a good person to wrestle against them. I feel like to kind of put him over. I mean, me personally, I'm always gonna be biased because I'm the queen of the indies and I've seen a lot of these guys in the indies. So I'm gonna sit here and be like, yeah, like he does deserve a title shot. Why not? Like, but that's me personally, but I like the fact that we're also getting shots to people that are in tag team. So you already had Mark Quinn against Cody, which was absolutely amazing. And then now you're going to have Sonny Kiss. So I'm all for this, like that we're going to start seeing some of the indie talent, like I like to call it, like finally raise up. So
I just love that we're getting also like the Elite versus Jurassic Express. I don't think that's been done yet. I don't think these teams have faced each other at all in AEW, so we're getting another first next week. We're also getting another first in this match. FTR are taking on the Lucha Brothers in a tag team match. First time ever.
Oh, this is what I would have liked to see last night. I get it. Like me personally, I feel like, 4-on-4, it's way too much because a lot is going on, right? And you're trying to keep up with what's going on in the match. This is the match that I feel like should have happened last night, but I'm glad that we're going to get it next week.
Yeah.
So, gimme.
Yeah. We saw like a little bit of glimpse of it in this week's episode of Dynamite, aka Fyter Fest Night 2 with both these teams. So I felt that match was a little bit clustered, which we'll get into. It was really hard to keep up with a lot of stuff, but I agree with you. I think we could have just had FTR and the Lucha Brothers go at it. Maybe the other two teams interfere at some point, but yeah, it is what that is. Before we get anywhere else, I don't have the alarm here, but we have new merch alert. I have to go over these specific ones because these are hilarious. I usually don't bring up a lot of new merch on the channel unless it means something. So there's a new colored shirt, as you can see. FTR have a new shirt. Again, I just got this one. Now they have a new shirt. And it's a yellow one with their car in it, which is really cool. I love that.
I like that. I do like it.
Cult Cabana, even though he tweeted and assured me that Evil Uno says Colt, but you can see how the O is broken at the top. It's Cult Cabana.
I swear, if one of you guys buy this for my birthday, I'm gonna pop you. I swear to God. I really feel like someone's gonna troll me and like buy that shirt for my birthday next month, and I'm gonna pop someone. I swear to God.
And the best one, though, out of all three, I think personally, is the Librarians one, because it's like it has to do with the X-Files. I loved watching the X-Files growing up, and this one comes with a bookmark, a Librarian's bookmark.
Cool. I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
So. Yeah, I'm going to get this shirt just for the bookmark.
They're just taking all our money.
Literally, they are.
We're not doing anything anyway. We're still like quarantined. They're
doing their job as a t-shirt company. They're selling really t-shirts.
Let me applaud you. You guys are great.
Yeah. Like we were joking about that at first too, and it was the big joke back then, but literally they're a t-shirt company and it's for real, and they're living up to that because there's like a new t-shirt every single week.
Yeah.
Anywho, Rihu, the last bit before we get into Fyter Fest, guys, this is really cool. So if you guys don't know what Cameo is like the best thing in the world, where you can get your favorite person, celebrity, whatever, to give you a shout out. And once we saw Brandon Cutler on there, we're like, yeah, we have to support him. So he gave us a little special message. If you didn't see it, here it is, guys. Brandon Cutler giving me and Tiff a shout out and our acknowledgement of the Cutler footage.
Al and Tiffany, just want to say thank you guys so much for your continued support. The originators of the hashtag Cutler footage. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
That's right. He acknowledged it, Tiff. He acknowledged it. We are the originators of the Cutler footage. And I don't know why they're not using it on BT. We're not going to sue you guys for rights. Just use it.
I'm done with you. I can't with you.
But that was cool. I was awesome that he did that. I didn't even tell him to say that. I literally didn't tell him to say that, and he did that. I was
dying.
It was awesome.
Like,
so thank you, Brandon, for doing that. That was amazing, and I'm glad we got to support you in some way as well. We're always supporting Brandon.
I think it was funny because I saw the DM pop up on my phone, and I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Brandon Cutler." I was like, "All right, cool." Like,
oh, yeah. So he did reach out to us via DM, and he actually did a podcast intro for us, which I'll have to edit into our intro. I haven't this week, but we're getting a lot of those, man. Like our intro is going to be like 10 minutes long. I think we have to start picking one per week.
I can't help it. If we go back to the fact that it was, I think we'll go back to the Johnny Gargano intro that we had from like the beginning, and then we started moving up. We're like, we got to start getting AEW people going in here, and I'm like, all right, let's make this happen.
I don't think our audio listeners are going to appreciate the first 10 minutes of the show being intros.
Hi, this is Private Party. Hi, this is
we're gonna get like reviews saying like great podcast, just too long of an intro.
Maybe half we could do intro, half we could do outro or something.
We'll do a couple intros in the beginning, midway through the podcast. Like, all right, guys, taking a break and do some more intros.
I can't. Oh, man.
We'll figure it out.
All right, let's move on. let's get into this.
So actually, you know what? We should briefly go over Dark and BT before we do that.
Okay.
Just briefly.
Dark, it happened.
Dark, it happened. Yeah. I don't criticize me, guys. I forgot to watch Dark this week. I had a lot going on here, like moving down here into the cooler room, and I just forgot to catch up on it. From what I've seen, it was another solid episode. If you guys don't watch Dark, I highly suggest you watch it. A lot of cool things happen. A lot of progression and some storylines happen on there. Like the whole Brandon Cutler and Peter Avalon storyline is amazing. I freaking love that. Them teaming up and trying to get their first win ever in AEW. And then we're seeing the beginning of Scorpio Sky's single career as well. So he's been having a lot of awesome singles matches. This guy is going to be a top player in that singles division, man. This guy is good. And I think we knew he was good, but like as a singles guy now, what we're seeing out of him as a singles wrestler is more than what we expected, I think. So again, if you missed Dark, go watch it, guys. It's free. It's on YouTube. You can watch it whenever you want. It's not like you have to watch it at a certain time. But yeah, and then BT this week, freaking hilarious. Oh my God. I absolutely loved BT. This seems it's getting better week by week with all their antics. So again, BT was funny this week. I don't know how you guys are not watching BT if you're not. Like, you see these guys in like the most funniest ways possible. Like, it's so corny, but it's done corny. It's done on purpose. It's done low budget too, which is great as well. So yeah, it was another solid episode of BT this week.
I just love the whole thing with I mean, I'm gonna talk about my boys, about them in the ring.
Yeah.
That and
oh
then
my
we went
God,
back
they're
to
extra. They're
like,
extra.
That's Private Party though. Come on, I'm extra. They're extra. Like, those are the boys. But nah, I love it that we went back to the old school like BTE that they used to do at Flip with Matt, and he's like, "Where do you think you're going?"
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. I was like, and again, I cannot preach this enough. If you guys have nothing to do and you need something to do, go back and binge the first, like, go start from the beginning with BTE. A lot of them are not very long. Some of them could be 5 minutes. Some could be like 8 minutes. And like, I binged like the whole thing in a week. So it's going to be a little longer now because we've gotten more episodes since last year. But I swear, like, a lot of these things are so important to current. So if you haven't watched the beginning, you really should go and watch the beginning.
Yeah.
So, but I love that. I mean, I can't get enough. I mean,
it was just when he said dead ass, and then they jumped over the ropes, and then he jumped over the barricades after that. Like, It was great. Like, it was another solid episode. Yeah, let's get into Fyter Fest. Moment of truth. Finally, 20 minutes into the show, we're getting into the Fyter Fest review and recap. Night number of Fyter Fest. And,
Damn, he went real Canadian. Damn.
Yeah, went real French Canadian. Oh,
yeah, I know.
Je ne sais pas.
Oh, jeez.
I'll just do the review in French. Good luck keeping up.
Okay. Je m'appelle Tiffany. That's all I know.
Oh, good for
French.
you.
I took French. That's all I know.
Proud of you. Anywho,
I'll take a croissant.
Yeah. Let's talk about Fyter Fest.
All right, let's do this.
Another great night. I thought it was a solid night. Both nights were sweet. I think this night probably, I don't know. They're both up there. I can't pick my favorite night out of the two.
No, this was the better night
You
for
think
me.
so?
Definitely. This was the better night. Absolutely.
It's
the
tough.
Orange Cassidy, Jericho.
Yeah. We'll talk about that right off the bat, though. Like Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho, the main event. It was solid. It was probably one of the best AEW matches. I think it's going to be put in that top category with like Cody Rhodes and Dustin, with like Pac and Omega. This match is going to be up there. It was so entertaining and it was so well done. And I think it was probably one of Jericho's best matches.
He said that. He said this was one of his best of his career.
And he wasn't lying. He wasn't lying.
I mean, I'm salty. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I'm salty.
Salty alert. Whip, 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 whip.
We need like the dancing salt on the screen right now. But I'm salty still because we still didn't get the orange juice spot. I'm so pissed off. And don't say to me, well, Ortiz and Santana spit it at him. No, that's not the Orange Cassidy orange juice spot. The orange juice spot is he takes a sip and he spits it into his opponent and then they fall down and then that's how he gets the pin. So I'm pissed off. I almost threw the controller at the televion again last night, but I couldn't do that because it was at a friend's house.
Doing that though.
Why did he not win? Why? Look, again, I get it. It's Jericho. But come on, why? I mean, Orange Cassidy looked like a beast last night, right? Again, like if you watched him in Shikara, Fire Ant, he's absolutely amazing. I knew the quality of Orange Cassidy way before he signed with AEW.
We definitely got the most out of him last night.
You really did last night. Yeah. He made him work last night, and I was stoked, and I was so proud, and it was a great match. But again, I wanted to throw the controller at the television.
I think when we get him beating someone huge like Chris Jericho, it's going to be on an actual pay-per-view, and it's going to be in front of a crowd. I think you need that crowd reaction for him to beat a top guy to grow him even more in AEW, within the AEW audience that didn't know him before AEW. I think you need to start slow. And he did put up he took Jericho to the absolute limit. So I think Jericho did a fantastic job of putting him over. We got to talk about his new theme though. How do you feel about that new theme? That was different. I was listening. I'm like, is something going on? Are they playing the wrong theme song? I guess that's his new theme.
Well, I think Mike Ruckus had said that a whole bunch of new themes were coming out, right? Okay. So I knew new themes were coming out. Me, personally, I love his theme song from the Indies, Jane. I will always go back to that song when I think of Orange Cassidy, that I had other people tell me, like when they hear the Best Friend song, that they just strictly think Orange Cassidy. So it is a little weird to see new music, because again, I'm a what's it called, a habit of creature of habit, right? So I'm one of those that I like that. So I mean, it was cool, but again, I love Jane as his theme song. So
that's gonna be tough. I think it's like a music rights thing. I don't know if AEW can get it. Maybe eventually, if AEW, I think it's gonna come down to Orange Cassidy as well. If he truly wants that to be his theme song, and I'm sure he listened to the one that they debuted and say, I like it. So it was a lot to getting. I think I have to listen to it off TV to like really listen to, because I couldn't really tell. There's the commentators talking, the crowd go like the wrestlers yelling.
You need to listen to it on was Spotify or whatever. So David in the chat says, think we get a 6-man tag with Jericho, Proud and Powerful, and Best Friends in OC. I had saw this coming. That's why I thought Orange Cassidy was actually going to win this match last night. But I guess it continues a feud and it brings it. And you're probably right, Kyle. Like, Orange Cassidy's gonna get his win probably at a pay-per-view. It was great with Pac when we go back to that, but I really feel Jericho would have been the one to put him over. But I guess also at the same time, Hager lost, Proud and Powerful lost. Like, so I kind of get it. Like, you need to not completely very inner
Dark
circle, because a
I was
lot
gonna
of
say
people,
Dark Order.
the Dark Order, yeah, the inner circle that everybody said like, oh no, they can't. They're the inner circle. Why are they buried the inner circle? They're not buried. I feel like they're strong anyway. So and of course, Jericho's the perfect person to put everybody over. So I think you're right. I think it's gonna be when fans are back, and it's gonna be a pay-per-view. I mean, I would love to see a rematch with Jericho and Orange Cassidy again.
I can see his next big match in front of a crowd being for like a championship, like the TNT belt.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Stop! Don't play with my heart. Him and Orange Cassidy takes it off of him like it's IWTV belt all over again. Yes. Sorry, I'm being extra.
I don't. Maybe he takes it off a heel. I don't. Unless Cody Rhodes goes bad, because they keep teasing this 4 Horsemen thing, and it's driving me absolutely nuts because they were teasing it a lot last night on Twitter. Like Cody and FTR were tweeting 4 at Sean Spears. I'm going, what is happening? Tell us.
Oh my gosh.
So something big is happening between them. So I imagine a new 4 horsewomen of Sean Spears, Cody Rhodes, and FTR. Maybe a 5th. We'll see what happens with that. But the 4 for sure. Those 4, because they're teasing it like crazy. And I don't think they would be doing that if they weren't. Or they're just messing with our heads. They're messing everyone talking about it, so they're doing it on purpose.
But it's good. It's good because it's keeping us interested, right? We're like, oh, we need to see this, and we're like, are we going to see this? And I think that's why I get mad with a lot of the other talent, because I feel like the Elite and certain people are already established, and I want these guys to, like, you're signed and I want to see more. And that's what we said. Okay, Sonny Kiss, like, yes, we're gonna get him in a match next week. It's about time. So I think that's what makes me salty, and I think that's why I want to throw the controller at the television.
Please don't do that.
But I won't do
TVs.
it. Your TV lives matter.
Yeah, they do. Or else we can't watch.
I'm done.
Anywho, Rihu. Yeah, great entertaining match. It was a good wrestling match too. I thought it was definitely probably the match of the entire Fyter Fest. And yeah, probably the best main event match we've had in a while.
Yeah, it was worth it. Wait, Kyle, can we talk about, because I really, like, I was rewatching it today because I wanted to take notes. But let me tell you, the storyline between Britt Baker and Big Swole, I can't. I need more. And I love that we're getting this slow build of it. It's like gold that we're seeing. I love it that Swole was like gonna enter in, like, you're suspended, and she's like, what, I didn't drive 3 hours to get over here, and like nothing, and that trick, and I was dying. I was like, yes.
And Tony Khan acknowledging it too, and then tweeting about it, which is really cool. So yeah. I love that, the whole storyline between those two. Eventually they're gonna have a match. Eventually, when Britt's ready to go, the payoff is going to
happen at All Out, because Britt said that she'll be back at All Out. So
hopefully
we got perfect build going on. This is one of the best storylines going. It's actually made me really, really interested. And a lot of people, I think, felt the same way I did. I wasn't really excited about Britt Baker, right? And we were complaining.
I love her notes that she gives to Tony, like,
oh my God, with
during the
strings
event, yeah.
and stuff. But I love even when Big Swole was like, Britt the basura Baker, and I started dying, and my friend was like, what does that mean? I was like, garbage. I was like, come on. I was like, it means garbage in Spanish. I was like, remember? I was like, Big Swole threw the garbage at her during the thing. I was like, come on now. Like, you need to listen to Spanglish going on BTE, okay?
It was good. It's been good. It's been great. I'm all for it. A lot of people are not, but I'm all for it.
I'm all for this. I'm all in.
Anyway, wow. Let's talk about FTR, Young Bucks versus Butcher Blade, Lucha Bros. FTR, they got the logo on the trunks in AEW font, probably the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and just makes you think more. Like, these guys are going to be here for a while before they do, I guess, their tour of when everything. I think they're going to be here until everything kind of is back to normal out in the world, when they can kind of travel around. So until then, they're fully on board with AEW, and I give them props for the logo, FTR and AEW font. Probably the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Right.
And so they started the match off with FTR and the Lucha Bros. We got that little small taste, like first time in history these two going at it, and it was such a cool moment to see their two styles collide, because obviously Lucha Bros, we all know what they're about. They're high flying, they're spot filled, they're just really fast paced tag team action. And you got the FTR, who are more methodical and really more physical, kind of like that in your face, we're going to punch you to death kind of tag team and stick to the old school. So it was really cool to see them clash. It was cool to see a lot of the chemistry with the Young Bucks. They're like doing each other's moves with like their other partners, and they're looking at each other going like, what the hell are you guys doing? So that was pretty cool. There's like that quadruple tag at that one point near the end of the match. But it was so insane. Like, it was very spot filled. Like, if you blinked, you missed something.
That's why I said, like, sometimes, like, I get it why they do these matches, but I feel like it's so much. It's too much.
It
right?
is. I felt overwhelmed last night.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, like, there's too much going on. Please calm down.
And it's great. I mean, it's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying, like, even us reviewing it, it's kind of hard to review it because there was just so much stuff going on, and it's like, who am I keeping an eye on?
I literally wrote down one thing out of the entire match, and I guarantee you can guess what I wrote down. What the coolest spot was.
Oh yeah.
And it was the destroyer to the outside onto everyone. I'm like, I have never ever seen this move ever done like that, and I'm like, what the hell?
You should have seen my actual reaction when I was at my friend's house. Like, me and my friend legit jumped. We're like, oh my God. Like, we legit freaked the hell out during that
I did
spot.
one of those, oh!
I'm like, this is too much. It's too extra. So, but no, it was good. I love the ending that we got the respect between the Young Bucks and FTR, because once again, we're getting this slow build, right?
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't think this match needs the tag team belts. That's me personally what I think. I think we are teasing that eventually that's going to happen, that they think it's going to be more meaning to the match. I personally don't think we need it. This match needs to happen, but it doesn't need a title. This match is going to happen in front of a crowd. So I think they're prolonging it.
Yeah, I think it'll be the last match that FTR has before they go on their circuit.
Yeah.
In the meantime, though, who knows? Maybe they win the belt in between then and then lose it again, and then the match happens without the belts. But in any case, FTR and Young Bucks, if it's not for the belt, these guys could give us a 30 to 40-minute classic, I think. And I think it's going to be one of those. If it's not for the belt, we're getting a 30 to 40-minute match, which we know that they can do. So I am excited for that. And yeah, we got some further respect between the two teams, even though Nick accidentally kicked Dax to cause the Lucha Brothers to win with that really cool finishing move that they did. So, yeah, another solid match. But again, a lot going on. It was really hard to keep up. Let's talk about your boys, Private Party.
Yes.
They opened up the show last night against Kenny and Hangman for the tag team titles. And man, Hangman was getting in their face and getting heated like right off the bat. So we know why. If you guys have been watching BTE, you know the whole story between Private Party and Hangman with the $12, and it's just they were heated. And then Kenny Omega comes out, and Kenny Omega's got like the best entrance in AEW. I freaking love Kenny Omega, and obviously, guys, you can see him back there.
Ray said in chat that they still owe him $12. So
$12.
Listen, stop playing with my boys, okay? Like, I can't now. Matt's messing with the boys. You on the list, the husband, Matt. You're gonna get demoted. Stop playing with my boys.
Yikes.
Stop.
Demotion.
He's gonna be demoted, okay? Because Nick already pissed me off, and like that's why Nick's not on the list, the husband. Now Matt's gonna try to mess with my boys too. No, I don't appreciate it.
Well, in any case, they opened Fyter Fest against Kenny Hangman. Really cool match. A lot of cool looking spots. The whole Isaiah and Hangman thing on the outside was really well done. I thought it was a solid opening contest to get us pumped up for the event. Very close finishes. The champs ended up retaining, which was interesting. Again, we talked about it last week in the Night 1 review that maybe Private Party are the ones to take it off Kenny Hangman. Maybe we finally see Kenny finally start turning, or one of them turn on each other. We're not. What is going on here? Why are we continuing this? Because we're getting small teases in BT of Kenny teasing the cleaner gimmick, unless again that's another tease or another jab at everyone wanting him to turn to the cleaner, and he's not going to yet. I can't think of who and when Kenny and Hangman are going to drop these belts.
I'm pissed because it should have been last week. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna preach this. As much as I love my boys, don't get me wrong. Best friends were the perfect people to set up to take the belt off of them.
I just don't think it was their fault.
Understand.
It was the audible they had to pull because of the whole Moxley situation. They had to pull that and then have the tag team titles being defended again on night 2. which we talked about. They could have gone in another direction. They could have had Cody have the open challenge to replace Moxley, and they went they did what they had to do. It's going to be tough unless they have a plan in place for them to lose it to a specific team at All Out.
That's why I'm saying, like, I feel like it's true what everybody's saying, and I wasn't getting on board with it, that I feel like eventually this is going to get dropped to FTR.
FTR against Kenny and Hangman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
And me personally, like, that's great, but again, like, here's these tag teams that have been since day one, and I don't know, like, I feel like best friends are the better team I don't know. Again, I want new talent to be pushed, and I feel like it's not happening. And
what we can do is have faith, because they've always, whenever we've kind of thought about something that they're going to do that we don't like, it ends up being different, and we end up liking the result. So hopefully there's methods behind their madness in this, because I really want to know how. It confused the hell out of me last night. I thought for sure they were going to give the nod to Private Party and give them the title belts to open the show up with Private Party winning their first tag belts. I'm like, that's perfect. You're getting, obviously it's going to be there, the ratings war and the ratings talk. If you want people to change the channel over to AEW, what better way than making Private Party your first tag champions and people switching over and going, oh my God, Kenny and Hangman finally lost the belts.
Yeah.
So I thought they were going to go in that direction, or even last week going in the direction of the best friends thing, like you said, and I would have agreed with that. But because of the audible they had to pull, I kind of understand why they did it. But yeah, I do agree with, like, these teams that have been here since day one, we kind of need to move on from the Elite holding on to those tag team belts. And, well, I mean, not really the Elite. Hangman doesn't really consider himself an Elite anymore. Yeah. Anywho, got to talk about this is a big thing because we put out a fan tweet for this. So Nyla Rose was touted as being in action. She ended up being in action in a handicap match against Kenzie Page and Kylie King, who I have been loving. Kylie King on Dark. I'm glad she got some main TV time there. So that's props to her. That's I mean, I know they're feeding them to Nyla Rose because they chose those two. That's showing a lot of like props to those two for the work they've been doing in Dark. And I really do feel that they have an eye on Kylie King. The way that match was going, the way Kylie King was getting more of the, I don't know how you say, the more screen time in a way. You could just tell by how it was going. You knew Nyla was going to squash both of them, but there was something behind Kylie King that they like, and I do like. I think there's a lot of potential with that girl. But anyways, Nyla basically ate them for breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever she was eating them for. Just destroyed them. She got on the mic. Basically tells us that her announcement is she's hired a manager. She's talking about all these teams back there that are all these people and all these great AEW wrestlers back there that have managers. She thought she's going to have a manager. She's like, I got one. And she's like, it's like the other teams. There's something in common with this manager with me, just like Tully and Sean, just like Arn and Cody. So I'm like, oh, so it's a manager that's going to mean something. So she says that her manager is guaranteed that the next time she leaves AEW very soon, she'll be holding Hikaru Shida's AEW Women's World Championship. So
yeah, I
want to know what you guys think out there, who this manager is. I don't know. Tiff, do you have it pulled up, or do you want me to pull it up?
I had it and then it erased. I went to go look something up because Conrad brought about
squirrel
tweet. No, he brought up DeMonte's tweet and I didn't see it. So she was talking about the whole thing about that she tweeted at.
Oh, I got it up here if you want me to.
Okay, she said to give those women like 5 minutes maybe, so you're not reading nor care what people want. They want more. Put me in the ring and I'll give them more. The mouth only writes checks this, ask in cash. So let's get it in then. And then she tagged Kenny Omega because Kenny Omega is in charge of like pretty much all the women and stuff like that. So I agree, because they do deserve better. I mean, me being the queen of the indies and everything like that, like I'm all about the indie talent. So I would love more of the women, and I wish it wasn't such of a squash match. Give more. So that I agree.
It ties into her announcement, though. That's the only reason why they did it. You can't just have her have a competitive match and then make that announcement. You have to make her look like a monster, like she is, and then do that announcement. It tied into what she knows. If she wasn't making that announcement, I do agree. But we got Datila saying, I guess putting the gif of Vicky Guerrero, Mary Shadows, shout out to her, making a gif of excuse me. Hey, Vicky Guerrero. Dave puts Awesome Kong, which that's cool. I've seen a lot of Awesome Kong. Same
I
with
brought that up a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Moonfire Lark puts Awesome Kong. At Broro Deward, sorry, Vicky Guerrero, and then our boy Samster203 put Jazz. That's an interesting one. Jazz, that would be cool. In any case, she has a manager and it's going to mean something. I'm just going to say I love your guys' opinions out there. I don't agree that it's Vicky Guerrero. That just doesn't seem strong enough for a Nyla Rose. It's just
maybe somebody new but known.
Yeah, Jazz is a good one. Jazz would be sweet. Awesome Kong would be interesting. That's the only thing I see with Awesome Kong is that she's not wrestling anymore, because I think we would have seen her more if she was. Maybe something's going on with her. I mean, she's getting up there in age, so maybe she's kind of hung up the boots. Her as a manager would be sweet. Like those two, like huge beasts as a manager and wrestler pairing. So I do love the Awesome Kong pairing. Or it's someone we're not thinking of. Oh yeah, it could be. Maybe it's a guy.
Could be a guy. Yeah. Could be a guy. I mean, everybody was saying like women, but why not a guy? Like
someone we're not thinking of. I don't know, Dean Malenko.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. If you guys like, let us know. Like, leave comments below, or if you're in the chat, I would love to love to know what you guys think. So I don't know. This is a hard one. I mean, like I said, a lot of people were saying Vicky. I was seeing even outside of our tweet that we put out.
Vicky.
But again, I wouldn't be mad about a guy.
Luther's everything pro wrestling put Luther in the chat.
No.
Luther.
No.
That would be. I don't know how that would work.
No. That's creepy.
But yeah, maybe a guy. I'm very excited.
I want a mouthpiece though. I want someone to come in that can like talk. You know what? We need a New Yorker, because I want that Zelina Vega like amp. Like
a mouthpiece, yes. But Nyla's shown that she can she can talk. Yeah. Like she's a good job at talking, but I agree, maybe like a mouthpiece. Or someone that's loud and someone that can put over Nyla in a way.
That's it. If we're putting it like that, like, you know, if you're thinking about who's been hanging out, who's been around in AEW, then yeah, it screams Vicky to be her mouthpiece. But me personally, like, I feel like I would love somebody new.
Paul Heyman
to come. That Kyle. Okay. Anyway, let's move on.
Let's move on along. And there's another announcement. So it was touted like during the week and on the day of the show that Taz had a major announcement with Brian Cage. Before that though, interesting. It kind of ties into like Taz's, not really to Taz's announcement, but his client Brian Cage. Darby had a vignette of him doing coffin drops about 800 feet in the air onto that looks fun as hell, by the way. I'd definitely want to do that.
Nope.
I'm all for that. But anywho, he called out Brian Cage. He says he doesn't remember. He's the reason why Darby's out of action. So he's kind of like telling Brian Cage, like, I'm coming back soon and I got my eye on you. Darby, going after the biggest guy on the roster.
That's why I said it's not happening. Moxley is not dropping the belt. Fight me. Like,
I ain't fighting you.
No, it's just whoever I fight would fight me, because it's not happening.
Okay. But yeah, Darby going after Brian Cage, man, that's sweet. That is pretty dope. Then Taz came out with Brian Cage. I love his entrance, by the way. The whole Brian Cage thing, and then the fire exploding when he does his neck slash. That's pretty cool. Taz's Cage won't be going to Fyter Fest without a championship. I'm like, okay. Even though he says he's going to win the AEW World Championship from Mox at Fight for the Fallen. And then Taz takes out of the bag. I'm like, as soon as he's holding a title belt, I'm like, I know what this thing is. And I'm like, it's the FTW belt. It's the FTW belt. And he pulls it out. I'm like, I'm like, oh, I marked out huge. I said it earlier in the show. I popped when he pulled that thing out and then crowned Brian Cage. That's huge to crown Brian Cage as the FTW World Champion. And again, we don't know if this is going to be a belt that's going to be defended regularly. Does it change hands? Is it just a belt to put on Brian Cage because he's Taz's client? Or if Taz gets a new client, that him and Brian Cage go at it. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes down.
Maybe Nyla Rose will join with Brian Cage and that.
Oh boy, that's a huge team. I'd be scared, man. If I was Darby, then I'd be like, yeah, no one. Sorry for calling you out. Sorry. I want to go this way.
Why not? Taz is the best, like one of the best in the business, is like on
Oh,
mic.
yeah.
Like
He's
how
shown that
insane-
he's a-okay on that mic.
Yeah. I'm really curious again. Like, would you guys love to see that belt defended?
Yeah, let us know in the
or do you
comments. Or
want
tweet
it?
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know. Like, do you want this defended, or do you want this just to be like kind of like a prize that Brian Cage just walks around with?
Yeah.
So
kind of like the MJF the ring situation
Yeah.
there.
yeah.
So, that was
I
that.
don't know. That was funny, but oh man. We didn't
Um,
talk about Joey Janela.
I was getting there.
Can I just give a shout out to Faye Jackson? Yo, she is the queen again. Like Kyle probably doesn't know who she is. She was in the front, right? And like she was like waving at Archer when like when Archer like knocked like Joey outside of the ring, and she's like this, but she's the queen. She's one of the best in independent wrestling. I got excited. I was really hoping to see her on a dark match.
And we might next
Maybe
week.
we'll see her eventually.
Because Dark's taped this week, so we might get it next week.
Yeah. I
Um,
love her. I love her.
yeah.
She's the queen.
So
But,
we usually see Lance Archer's, comes out with a victim, I guess you can call it, because everybody dies. And it's usually one of the stage crew or someone in production. It was different this week. It was Sonny Kiss. I'm like, oh, okay. I marked out for that. I was like, this is sweet. This is
I was
cool.
confused. I was really confused. I was like, why is Joey not coming out with Sunny? And then when Archer came out with Sunny, I was like, okay, that makes sense now.
And then just threw her or him at Joey. Just like they collided, and it was a very physical match to start though. Like even throughout, like they were beating the absolute hell out of each other, and then
I love it.
it
This
was
was
just
a good match. It
was
was a
just
really, really good match.
Lance punishing Joey, but then Joey actually got some offense in. Like he even countered Lance's finishing move at one point. So I was very impressed that they let Joey get all that offense in, and it's about time we kind of seen that from someone, and good on them for giving that opportunity to Joey out of all people.
Yeah.
But then he died. Everybody dies. He died. He went through the table on the outside. Just
I love the cameras that we still have on the ring post as well. So that spot, like where he chopped the Joey, and then you just go into it. Everybody dies. Like I was like, yes. I was like, these are the little things that like I appreciate that should have probably been done a long time ago. And I just, it was great. So I love the different angles that we get to see as well. So
it was good. It was good. I very much enjoyed it. And then we had Dark Order face off against SCU. Most likely the last time we're going to see SCU team up as a 3. They're going ahead with Scorpio Sky as a singles from now on. It'll just be Kazarian and Chris Daniels for how long ever they go for.
Right.
But we had footage before and showed of how, oh my God, Cole Commanders, how did he get that? I don't remember anything happening last week that he got that big of a bruise. I don't, like, they're saying the Doc Samson, I think that was saying, like, it was because he went into, like, the guardrail. Like, he got sent into the guardrail. I'm like, what?
I chopped him.
Oh, you chopped him, and he just got bruising all like that. But that looks like it hurts. And I felt every time that Colt in this match was, like, aching on that side, I'm like, oh, I can feel it.
I'm telling you, it was me. Shh.
But he was clearly hurting. There was times, though, in the match where he tried to tag out, and Brody's like, no, continue. You got this. It looked very clustered at first, too, when the followers were out there. They're getting involved, and I was like, okay, we kind of need to calm down. Let the followers just sit up top. Don't get involved.
Yeah.
Brody eventually hit his clothesline and Christopher Daniels, and they let Colt get the pin. He's been undefeated since joining the Dark Order. So more and more furtheration. And we got that T-shirt, the Colt Cabana T-shirt.
If you buy that for my birthday, I'm gonna come up personally and pop you. I swear to God.
I don't know. We'll see. Anywho, but like Colt tried to. You see, Colt tried to celebrate his victory, and Brody's like, "No, we don't do that." And then they all left. So interesting, this whole development with Dark Order and Colt Cabana. Or Colt Cabana, we can call him.
Oh my goodness, I can't. But no, Fyter Fest was
dope.
I
enjoyed it.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, Again, I'm still salty with some stuff.
You salty?
It's good salty.
It's good
not
salt.
bad
It's
salty
always
because
good to put salt on stuff. Yeah.
eventually the payout's gonna be
Yeah.
great. And like at the end of the day, like I said, Orange Cassidy, Jericho was gold. Either way. I mean, me personally, that's just me being a fan and just being a huge Orange Cassidy mark.
Yeah.
So,
And then the
but
first 4
either way.
matches for next week for Fight for the Fallen, looking like another stacked show. Can't wait for AEW Dynamite presents Fight for the Fallen next week, and they said that they're going to be. Remember last year they were raising money. I don't remember exactly what it was for last year. They're raising money for. I think it was the Australia Fires or something.
Was it the gun? No, that was
gun violence. It was gun violence.
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then now this year is for COVID, which is huge. So I love that they're doing these charity pay-per-views again. It's one of the many things that makes AEW awesome. So that's what they'll be doing next week. I'm sure they'll be showing ways and tweeting ways of how to donate. So keep an eye out for that. We'll retweet it with AAP if anything comes up. So keep an eye on that as well. But yeah, great episode, Fyter Fest. And then next week I'll have to make a new layout now for Fight for the Fallen since we're getting another.
Know.
We're in pay-per-view month.
It is happy pay-per-view month.
Yeah.
Seriously, no,
and,
it's been great.
Episode 91 of AEP. We're getting very close to 100. And again, I told Tiff last week it's lined up for the Go Home show for All Out for our 100th episode. It's going to be a massive episode. I'm going to start brainstorming some ideas. We're going to get a lot of fan interaction with that. So, guys, keep an eye out for our 100th episode coming up very, very soon.
Yes.
So, in order to do so, Tiff, you know what people need to do is follow us on social media everywhere, especially on the network on Facebook at No Holds Bar Network. Like us on there. Follow it on Twitter at NHB Network. And on Instagram, the Insta. If you're into that Instagram kind of thing, No Holds Bar Network's on there as well. Also, the All Elite Podcast has socials. That's right. Like it on Facebook at All Elite Podcast. On Twitter, very important, the Twitter is the most important social media at All Elite Pod. And on Instagram, I post on there too at All Elite Pod as well. You can listen to us on the go. So thank you to all of those amazing people who listen to us on the go. Thank you if you're listening to us on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Pocket Cast, wherever you may be. Thank you for listening. If you could please leave us a rating and a comment on the rating if it lets you. It does help us out in the chartable kind of things, especially Apple Podcasts, which a bulk of our listeners come from Apple Podcasts. Make sure you guys are leaving us a generous, maybe 5-star review, whatever you guys feel, and a nice comment so we guys can get up there on the chartable charts. Also, check out the No Holds Bar Network website, noholdsbarnetwork.com. Guys, awesome articles on there. You got podcast updates on there. Everything that has to do with the No Holds Bar Network is on that website. Go check it out, noholdsbarnetwork.com.
Yes.
And lastly, but not least, Darren, thank you very much for letting us use the theme song Dead to Me by These Wolves. Guys, check Darren out. Give him some love. Follow his socials. Follow These Wolves on all your listening platforms. And thank you, Darren, for letting us use the official theme song of All Elite Podcast, and that is Dead to Me.
Oh my God. Can I just shout out Casey Catal for retweeting our All Elite podcast? You are the best. I love her so much. She needs to be on List of Wives because I don't know why she's not on my
she's
list
on mine.
She's going to be on List of Wives. Like I
don't know. You told her she's on mine. She didn't take that too kindly, so I'm afraid. I don't know if I should put her on there or not. I'm scared. We had a little conversation about horror movies the other day, so I think I'm cool.
All right, cool. All right. But no, I'm going to bring it up because I'm going to be actually guesting on our friend Rob's Bob Culture on Monday.
Hey, shout out Bob.
So you're so awesome. But so there's a lot of things going
Welcome
on,
for the layout,
guys.
by the way.
Yeah, he was so excited about your layout. He loves it. So there are some things going on the No Holds Bar Network. If you guys want to be a part of the website, hit me up. We're always open to new suggestions. Actually, one of our friends is going to be doing fan art, so I'm looking forward to that to be going on there. We have a couple of articles being written from our friend Justin. So there's a lot of things going on with that. This weekend I am going to Synergy Wrestling. Okay, you guys, it's going to be on Fight TV, so make sure you pay-per-view it. If you're not going to go, I will be there with Ray and April. We're celebrating April's birthday, but there's so many things going on. I will see Darren. We will be celebrating his music on AEW. Come on now. So we're going to celebrate that. And I'm going to get some interviews with some of the wrestlers as well. Some you've already seen on the channel. Tony Deppin's going to be there. Alex Zane's going to be there. Jordan Oliver is going to be there. So I'm going to try to get Jordan Oliver on the podcast as well. So we'll see what's going to happen. But We'll be working that, and hopefully there'll be a new episode of Indie Talks next week for you guys. So,
And as for the picks, we forgot to mention the picks. Me and Tiff tied. Boo ties.
oh,
Boo. We tied again.
That's just usually how. This is what happened with me and Kyle last year. Like we just kept tying after a while. So
Great
we still
minds
got a
think
couple
alike.
more paper. Yeah, we still got a couple more pay-per-views. I guess we're gonna have to do a pick for next week.
Oh yeah, we might. We'll
So,
probably release it
we'll
on Twitter.
Record some, yeah, on Twitter, or me and Kyle will record something very
Mhm.
quickly, sometime within the next couple of days. So we'll figure that out. But we'll definitely do a prediction for you guys.
Sounds
So,
great.
and then,
Anywho,
yeah.
Rehu, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in live here on YouTube for the All Elite podcast. Sorry we couldn't be branched out on other platforms. We're trying out a new streaming software today. As you saw last week, we couldn't go live because of OBS with, and now we're on Streamlabs OBS seems to be working okay. So there were some issues throughout the show, which I'll start to fool around with. But so far, so good with this streaming platform. So we'll stay on here until more problems arise because, live podcast, you're always going to run into problems. Anywho, Rehu, that's going to wrap it up, guys, for All Elite Podcast episode number 91, your Fyter Fest night number 2 review and recap right here on the No Holds Barred Network, which is your source for all wrestling podcast content and more. I'm your self-proclaimed greatest host, as always, Kyle Masters, always joined by my co-host. She is the EVP of Giggles, the Heartbreak Chick, and the Queen of the Indies herself, Tiffany. And, guys, we'll see you back here right here next week on the All Elite Podcast. Same great time. Same great place every Thursdays for the Fight for the Fallen review and recap. And check out the No Holds Barred Network for more crazy stuff happening this weekend. So we'll see you guys next time. Take it easy. Stay safe. Wear your mask. All that mumbo jumbo. Take care.
I don't know.